everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Path of Exile with me, EclecticAndrew, the gamer, and EclecticWitchy over here. We have returned to Oriath today in order to slay the Templars, get revenge. The last time I forgot to identify this little unique belt I got. It's an interesting little belt. But hold on. Okay, so today in Oriath, we have
I need more mana.
sparked a rebellion, it seems, or at least what's going on here is everyone's in a little bit of chaos panic because the slaves were revolting and trying to get out of the slave pens, as they should, and we ended up coming back just in time to join the fun. So, let us attack the Templars, help out the slaves, try to get out of here ourselves, because we all want to get out of here. Last time that Templar up top, above where we teleported in, pointed over to the west. So that's where we're going to go today. We're going to head west. Follow the walls to the west, and we should be able to find our way forward, I believe. A lot easier than going any other way. Really. Really easier. We will be finding all these red X's all over the floor. Yeah, bunches of slaves have painted the bloody X's all over the place. Wonder why. The Templar guards of these slave pens are gonna be like,
When I'm ready and not.
let's see here. These axemen, knifemen, a bunch of them use Sunder. There's some other guys that like to teleport onto you. It's not Flicker, but it's kind of like a Phantom Force. You know, like from Pokemon, they dive into the shadows and pop up in your shadow. Huh, this place seems fortified. Very heavily fortified. I wonder how we can get over there. Oh, there's these doggies. Purge hounds. There's gonna be these interesting enemies that, like, send out rippers at you. Like from Unreal Tournament. I don't know if you know that game, but a long time ago there was a game... Oh, there they are. See those rippers right there? The little bouncing discs? Yeah, that weapon was in Unreal Tournament back on the PlayStation 2 and computer. Back on the PC years ago. My dad actually started playing that game, and I'm like... I saw the game on PlayStation 2 years ago, and I'm like, maybe I can play it with him if I play it on PlayStation. Yeah. I liked playing games with my dad. Sadly, though, we kind of had a disagreement over something. Revolving around Final Fantasy VII. Which is too bad. Because, you know, there's that one big story part just after you get outside of Midgar. And he had gotten there. And I got home from school and he wasn't home to do anything. And yeah, because at that point in my life, I was coming home by myself. And he was still at work. So he had left the PlayStation on in his game. At this point in this game where there's no save point. Not whatsoever. Up until you end the story. And I played through it and pissed him off. Because he missed the big old Nibelheim backstory and... I don't know. Well, anyways, we have come up upon this area here. The heavily fortified area. Whoa, what's that? That is actually the old version of Stormburst. Those little bubbles, those little lightning bubbles there. So that was pretty fun. I like Stormburst as it is now, but people really loved the Stormburst when it came out for the first time. Anyways, this is Slave Overseer Crow. Let us kill him. He seems to be attacking this tower here.
And not before.
And we have defeated Crow. Made him eat Crow. And we come over here and this ladder gets lowered down. So, we get to go up into the Overseer's Tower. Wow, it must have been taken over at some point by the slaves when, like, he went out to the field to command the troops. And so they took it over and pulled out the ladder so he couldn't get back up inside, so... Let's start by talking to these people that we have successfully rescued.
An exile returned.
Yes,
How is that even
I have
possible?
returned.
Rising out of the darkness to claim the souls of our enemies, like Hinekora in
Well,
the stories my mother used to
I am
tell
a dark
me.
witch.
Well, your divine intervention
Yeah.
gave us just the diversion we needed to take this tower.
Yeah,
So if you keep doing things like that,
glad to be of help.
then I might have to start believing in the gods again. And thank you for finishing off that last overseer for us. I don't know
Oh
what
wow,
sort of
that was the
mother
last
could have
one.
birthed that
Cool.
land-loving
You
wave.
got all the other ones.
But
Good
we were
job.
lucky he wasn't here when we took this tower. He'd have spread us across the floor like butter on a piece of bread.
Oh no, it's not a hopeless fight.
Take something for helping us in this hopeless fight of ours.
Just some rings. I'm not that interested right now. Uprising. What do you have to
We've
say,
been
Lonnie,
planning
about
it
the
for
uprising?
months. Spreading the word, stealing
Yeah.
weapons, gathering support.
Fighting for months.
Utula and his followers did most of the dirty work.
Oh,
I just
you're a
carried few
messenger. Cool.
messages here and there. Should have known I'd end
Oh
up
no,
like this
what
when
happened?
the real fighting
Yeah,
started.
she got a little injured. Excuse
In
me,
the
move.
darkest hour before dawn, that's when we broke our chains. And as many overseer
good.
necks as we could wrap our hands around. We took the Panopticon as the sun rose over Theopolis, and that's as far as we
Yeah,
got.
that's true.
When you're up against cold steel,
Only so
and
much you can
cold
do with anger
hearts,
alone.
There's only so far that anger will take you.
But now that you're here, what's next step?
Remember, we
Oh
do
hey, look at
this for
Utala
freedom.
here. Whoops. Wait.
For freedom.
He's got a peg leg. Like a pirate. And Lonnie, kinda hurt in some fashion. But, let's try this again.
Say, ha! After everything I've done, it took an Oriathan to get these slaves
Oh, really?
up off their shackled asses and fighting. I guess the Templar should
Well,
have
sorry to
treated
fudge
their
up your plans a little bit.
better than their slaves, eh? Well, I'm not about to turn
Strange, they're
down a
talking about
gift from
Kitava.
If he wants slave and outcast to join hands, then
Yeah,
let's remind
let us
these
join
Templar
hands.
that they're flesh and blood, just like us. Utula Makora is what they call me.
Ah, so he's the chief.
I'm what passes for a chief.
Tell them where to stab, or run, or die.
I put the steel in their hands.
Yeah.
I tell them where to stab, where to run, where to die. If that doesn't make me a chief,
Tell me, what's the state of our state?
does, eh?
Are we a nation of states, or...
Blood isn't the only currency
Yeah.
we need to earn to buy our freedom. We can kill all the Templar mongrels we like out there. It won't matter
yeah,
a damn
true.
if we don't get inside their stronghold.
So long as they have a stronghold in the
I'll put my
city.
bloody chains back on right now. Problem is, there's some sort of witchery
Some witchery.
surrounding the place. Only those who see the truth with faithful eyes are getting in there.
Power of
Power
innocence,
of
huh?
innocence. It's all in the eyes, you see. Yet blessed
Strange.
Kitava has answered my
Colm was
prayers
talking about
and
Kitava
sent
as a
us
black,
just the pair of
dark
arms
god.
we need.
But Utala here seems to be
Ever
very
faithful
reverent of
Justicar
Kitava.
Casticus. He's there in the control blocks right now, smiting
Oh,
my people
a
with
Justicar.
self-righteous fury. Find
Yes,
him
let us rip his eyes
and
out.
rip his faithful eyes out.
And he will see us into the
Then I'm
courts.
sure the good Justicar
That's
will
cute.
be kind enough to see you into the temple.
Because we're taking his eyes. Which is like you. In that point of, we're like Itachi.
Take a deep breath. Inhale the twin
Yeah.
stink of exploitation and oppression. Yes, these pens and cells have been our home.
Really?
away from
Lion
home
Eye?
Since the first card we were brought here by Marseus Lion Eye, their great hero.
Huh,
of
no
the
wonder
Empire,
Colm went to war with him.
One of the best slavers they ever had. Not that
Yeah,
he was the
Fairgraves.
only one. Captain Sigmund Fairgraves funded
That
many an
sucks.
expedition of the whipped backs of Karui children.
Yeah, Dominus, we were lucky enough to put away ourselves.
Latest in a long line of men
Well,
to
Fairgraves
get
too, to be
rich by
fair.
Trading in misery. Oriathan wealth was built on Karui poverty.
Yeah.
Oriathan
Sucks when people do that, isn't it?
Stained red by
We've been doing it a long
Karui
time, but everyone wants to... No one wants to let go of that kind of power. Not willingly, anyways.
She's a pretty tough girl for a half-blood. Her mother was Karui, but her father, a lord with a
interesting.
nose for island flowers. Despite that Oriathan stain in her blood, Lani risked her
Yeah, she was
lifetime
messenger
and
because
time
she was,
slipping us the information that she
That's
bore
very good.
between the lords and ladies of the
Yeah, see, she's very hurt in some fashion. She keeps coughing.
Put the pieces of this uprising together without her. And she's a fighter.
Oh, good.
Struck down 2 overseers before a third managed
She managed to put down 2 overseers herself. That's pretty nice.
Don't worry, it won't slow it down for long.
I mean, Krill wasn't much of a challenge to us, but then we're the Exile of Path of Exile.
Overseer's Tower, this place is called. And you know the worst thing about the men who stood here, watching us, cursing us,
Yeah.
descending to whip and kick us like curs? They were slaves, like us.
Yeah, that sucks.
Willing to turn on their brethren for a bigger cage and a few extra rations. I can't quite put into words what a pleasure it was.
Wow, you
to
ripped
take
their
this
eyes out
tower,
too.
to rip the greedy eyes from those traitors. Did they see it coming? I hope so.
You would think if they had warning of it coming, that of your uprising coming, that they would have turned on you then too.
Well, I know his other names. The Black Spirit, the Cannibal King, the Ravenous
well.
One. He was all of those things before Tsukuhama slashed out his eyes.
No wonder your son dies, because your god, your ravenous god,
Before
Kitava, had his eyes slashed out too.
condemned him to immortal darkness. Kitava has learned from the suffering inflicted upon him.
Oh
Learned
no,
what
poor
cruelty
Kitava.
is from his own flesh and blood. Learned what it means to be a
Yeah,
slave.
we should all be free.
Now he hungers for freedom. Not merely
Free
for
and peaceful.
himself,
That's the
for
way to be.
all of us who have suffered under whip and shackle. Kitava is the
Yeah, let's
tormented
banish
one,
cruelty.
destined to rise up from
Yeah.
the darkness and banish
Rise
cruelty
with him.
from this world.
We rise together. We will go together.
Rise with him.
What is this guy Innocence?
Red eyes.
Old Red Eyes.
He's been
What is with
quiet
this
for a
guy in
long time.
eyes?
And just like Kitava and Tsukuhama, all of the
Really?
old gods. Now Innocence has woken up, and with him, power like I've never seen the
Really?
Templar wield
Something
before.
has awakened all the old gods.
It's all right though.
All those old gods we learned about from the
God
raid
looking
class.
for us now. I can see him in the eyes of my brothers and sisters, smell him.
Of course, with how Tal is talking here, I don't know if that sounds a bit like what the Beast was doing.
I don't rightly know where the gods have been or what's brought them crawling back. Nor do I really care.
But he's very faithful.
All I need to know
He's
my
damn
friend,
determined too.
is that we're not alone anymore.
There's your leg. Oh, there's your leg. You turned a little bit.
There's 2 parts to the Templar. The grim face and the spotty ass.
Face in the ass.
Out front, you've got the Templar courts. Usually the last place our Hatungos see if they're stupid enough to preach their craft within a Templar's hearing. Oriath's woodmongers must do a roaring trade with that place. When the wind blows right, you can even
Ew.
smell the aroma of barbecued blasphemer from here. The arse end, that's the Chamber of Innocence.
Really, the Chamber of
Where
Innocence.
the real earnest believing gets done. Where the young Templar go to pay their respects to God Almighty and get the good sense baptized out of their heads. I've not seen the inside of the chamber myself, but you
Interesting.
can feel it from over a block away. Like there's an eye in your gut, peering through your insides, looking for even the tiniest stain
Yeah.
of sin. I tell you,
Seems like
seeing
a very...
people go in one end of that place.
I wonder if that's happening because of this power that you said that Innocence has now. Now that all the gods are waking up. Does that mean Kitava's waking up?
With Dominus away in Ray class,
Yeah.
someone had to keep the wheels of oppression
No.
turning. Avarius was only too happy to take the job. It had
Now we have
been
another
so
High
reckless
Templar
of
to take down.
It was
Well, we'll be
Avarius
glad
who
to
led some
do
of
it
the
anyways.
largest and most crippling raids upon the Ngāmakanui and the Ngākura
Oh no.
It was on his orders that men, women, and children were shackled
Yeah.
and shipped like cattle to Theopolis. And it was Avarius who spent 5,000 Karui lives building his Templar courts and his Chamber of Innocence. Who had wives and daughters scrub their husbands.
Really,
and
this place
fathers'
was built
blood
very
from the
recently.
stones so as to preserve their purity.
And this Severius seems to have made his home in this Chamber of Innocence.
Feel free to exact a little extra.
Yeah, let's exact a little extra vengeance.
In the name of Karui's suffering.
I will do that. Okay, well, what do you have to say about Utala,
Few of
Lonnie?
us can say that we've devoted our lives to anything greater than ourselves.
No, I don't think Witchy's very devoted to
I
much
think
herself.
Utula can.
She has very good study,
Since the
though.
day I met him, I've seen Utula do nothing that wasn't in the service of his people.
Oh, cool. That's
He's
very
a
nice of
smart
him.
one. He could have escaped. He could have sailed off to Namakanui and never looked back. Yet there he stands, our herald of freedom.
Huh.
I might die of this wound, yet I'd be giving but a fraction of what Utula has to honor the Karui way.
Yeah. Okay.
Freedom
Well,
comes
there is one other person, I believe, here in the Overseer's Tower. Hey, look at you. You have a ghost wrap, too. Yay. 2 witchies with ghost wraps. Yay.
Unlike these
Violenta.
assorted ignorami, I'm not surprised to see you here.
She's talking about the people as
beast is
ignorami.
dead, all thanks to you, I suppose. I was listening to the beast's
Yes,
death
the beast
rattle
is dead,
when
thanks
these
to us.
lunatics broke in, wrecked the place, and dragged me here to
Oh,
tend to
interesting.
their cuts and bruises. Thankfully, I was able to bring some of my paraphernalia with me.
So, you're technically a
The balance
witch
of
in
power
service of
shifting
the
in your
Templars.
favor, O murderer of nightmares. If I am in possession of anything that might smooth
okay.
the transition of governance,
So you don't mind a
don't
transfer of
hesitate to
government.
ask.
That's nice.
You'll find my terms quite reasonable. Some time ago, I fabricated a device able to sense and amplify the corrupt.
You wanna listen to the-
a miasmeter.
To the
I listened to those.
What do you call it?
whispers
The
for
after
years,
effects of the
lingering
beast?
beyond sane comprehension. And then the scream.
Huh.
Such
You were listening to the whispers for
profound
years.
agony that my
Really?
mind was nearly sundered by its percussion. I thought another cataclysm might be upon us.
Huh,
And what was
interesting. You were a witness to what we did to Malachi and the beast.
I was witness to a singularly potent cadence. This corruption, I am convinced that it holds the very key
really?
to our human history, and with it, our very
Well, you want the
existence.
miasmeter? Maybe I'll
Yet
help
without the
you.
miasmeter, I'm
It's in
condemned
Piety's
to
laboratory.
deafened ignorance. It remains in
Okay, well,
Piety's
we will find
laboratory,
Piety's laboratory
as long
very
as
soon.
Utula's miscreants haven't vandalized the poor
Maybe
thing.
vandalize it ourselves.
Find it.
Oh yeah, what do you have to say about the other
In
people?
contrast to the company she keeps, Lani has quite an astute mind. I put it down to that Oriath
Huh,
education
really?
she's managed somehow to procure. Whilst quelling whatever resistance you might meet in this noble coup of yours, you'd be well advised to look to Lani for counsel.
Well, you think Lonnie's very
She'll
smart.
make the
That's very
finest of
good.
advisors,
I like that.
second only to
Why do you
myself,
think
of
she's
course.
smart? What do you have to say about
Utula might
Tala?
appear to conduct himself with honesty and honor, yet has all the telltale signs of a desperate man.
Yeah, maybe a
born
little
of
bit.
Desperate times. As the cornered animal will bite and claw, the cornered man will lie, steal,
Really, you
and
think
murder
so?
in the name of survival.
I wonder.
It's understandable.
He's very
and
faithful to
deadly
his
if
god.
Underestimated.
Well, then where do we stand in the matter of gods and monsters here in the Ray class?
I can't really fault Justicar Casticus, a man committed heart and soul to upholding the
True, law is not the same
Of
thing as
course,
justice.
Law isn't the same thing as justice, and men.
And
like
I'm not
Casticus
surprised that
lack the
Cassius has the
imagination necessary
lacks
to
the
make that
imagination.
distinction.
But what about Avarius?
Various innocence. I'm not sure there's a great deal of difference. Around the time I heard the beast's mortal scream, the
Really?
newly appointed High Templar Avarius went through something of a revelation. The manner in which he speaks
Really?
now would indicate that he believes without doubt that he is some earthly embodiment of God.
Well,
That's faith for you.
maybe it does seem that us killing the beast did something to the world, bringing about these gods in some fashion. But then I wonder, if Avarius over here in Oriath hears innocence, you think Kitava? He was talking about hearing Kitava.
I gave piety everything.
You have something to say about
Devoted
piety?
my life to her work. What did that thankless bitch do for me in return?
Well, you got to live, I guess.
Polish her beakers while she pursued glory and Rayclast.
Yup.
Oh,
Yup.
you killed her, did you?
Yup.
Likely as not, you'd have killed me too had I been there.
Just count your blessings, girl.
In
Count
that
your
case,
blessings.
Perhaps we both got exactly
We're now
what we
talking instead of
deserved.
I'm stabbing you to death. And what is your research?
Piety and I have devoted ourselves to the betterment of the human condition. As for our methods, Piety had a saying that summed it up nicely. Would you consider the feelings of the stones when constructing a glorious cathedral in the name of God? Casticus supplied us with slaves, mostly Kardui, and I put them to good use. In fact, I believe their participation in my experiments elevated them from squalor to splendor. Our subjects were able to
No,
give
not
their
really.
otherwise meaningless lives to something greater than themselves.
Well,
Isn't that what we
seems
all
there's
want
quite a
in
few
the
people
end?
here, but I guess that's kind of the...
Farewell.
I guess we're kind of in the gray area of the game. Oriath has a very stained history. And we're gonna continue to see it as we continue our way through the control block. Which I hate. Because, with one of the latest updates to the world building of this game, the control blocks was changed a little bit. And it has made it just as horrible as, if not worse, as the temple behind the tree that we kill in Act 2. Because we now have to travel through basically 3 areas of the control blocks in order to make our way through to the boss, being Justicar Castius. And we have such a high chance of dying everywhere we go. It sucks because we get... It's one straight path, but it's a winding path. And you just have to keep walking it over and over again the more and more you die. It sucks to cry. It sucks. Here we are to the end of the first section. We can tell because we go down into this little trench. I guess these control blocks are basically the barracks of the Templars that control the slaves. And I guess maybe the transfer point to where all the slaves get put into the pens. You know, led from the docks to the slave pens through here. Which sucks as hell, of course. Just about all of us hate the history of slavery.
This is good stuff.
How we treat others makes a very stained history of humankind, really. And a lot of it's just because we look down on other people, which sucks to high heaven, too. Oh. Sorry if I'm leaving a lot of quiet space in between talking and whatnot. I'm coughing a little bit. As you know, I cut that out a lot. Now, since we are in the second area, we will be finding this area right here, which is Piety's laboratory, as we can see from the little exclamation point. We might have a quest here to pick up. Inside the experimental supplies, we shall peer at this cosmic wonderments as they wake and writhe within that deep and nameless dark. We find the miasmeter. You know, since I'm this far already, why don't I drop a portal so that way I can come back here really quick
When
if
I'm
I
ready,
die,
and not before.
just as soon as I
need
open up my
more
menu.
mana.
Oh no, the portal will die as soon as I go back through it.
I simply can't express how wondrous it is to see you.
Thank you.
What?
Oh,
You
you're not happy to
Exile,
see us
the
too.
miasmeter.
I'm just
The
so happy to
hope
see
of
your beautiful
humanity
face, aren't
lies
I?
in this
Yeah, your
beautiful
face.
device and the
With your
precious
little
knowledge it shall
gas
divulge.
suit.
Far more useful than an accidental hulk of meat and instinct like yourself. In fact,
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised
to
about that
discover
either.
that your slaying of the beast correlates directly to the strife we must currently suffer. At least you've proved
You know, you
useful
got a
enough
point
to
there.
return the miasmeter to me.
Like I said about
That
Avarius and
deserves some
Innocence,
small reward.
talking about his revelation as a newborn god. And Utala, I guess he's been
Now,
planning
where
this for a
was
few
I?
months. But I wonder, this uprising started just basically after we slew the beast. I wonder if there really was a correlation between what we did.
I'd be dead right now if not for Violenta. I just hope I live long enough to repay her. And how will I do that? By talking Utula out of his inclination to slice Violenta's throat open.
Yeah, that's true too.
As far as I'm concerned, our pasts are as broken
Free
as our
from
chains.
captivity and now free to move forward away from our past.
One, though. If it weren't for Lani, I'd have cut that bitch's throat the moment I met her. But Violenta seems to know her medicine, so she gets...
And yeah, she has committed a lot of crimes against you too.
Then Violenta will answer.
But I wonder if this chaos will end
For freedom.
and people can get over their past, their dark past, their dark bloodstained past, just like we did with Cecil a couple years ago. There will always be more than truth and justice in this world. You got mistakes. Got failings. Okay, here we are at the end of the second part. Because Patty's Lab is basically the highlight of the second part. You want to make sure to stop there to get the miasmeter so you can get a skill point. Oh, hey, look at this guy. He's got a whip. I wonder exactly why. Because I heard a theory years ago that the original ending of Pokemon was supposed to be Ash's Pikachu rises up in a rebellion against all the people in Pokemon. Not the people in Pokemon, but the Pokemon trainers. That he was supposed to lead the rebellion against all the trainers, against like N ended up doing.
I need more mana. When I'm ready, and
But,
not before.
He and Ash would have been on opposite sides of the revolution. That's just a theory I heard here a couple years ago anyways. Regarding, like, when the Pokemon series was supposed to end and whatnot, but... turned into a kid's show, and... well, everyone had so much fun with the kids show and the kids game. It just... became a... very long-standing kids game. Which, yeah, people wish they would grow up with, because, adults still play it a little bit, and... as you know, of course, I did do a Pokemon Let's Play. And you, well, of course, we now have Pokemon Horizons, which apparently is very mature for its audience, considering that's a kid's show. At least that's what I heard. Oh, hey. I think we're here. Look, down there. Look, that's where we teleported in. And up here. Yes, it was just Takara Castius who taunted us before when we arrived in Oriath. Returned from Exile. Cassius seems to be a vampire. Because he sends out these bloody waves and spectral shield throws. And bloody bats. Strange that he's a bloody person. Considering that he's a part of Innocence and the Templars and all that. But let us kill Castius, take his eyes, and move on. Because as soon as we kill Castius, this door opens, and his eyes roll out of his head. Thankfully, we don't have to see that being done by our character. Of course, I guess maybe some people are okay with kind of the... not with taking people's eyes, like Itachi and the Uchiha were, but, and Danzo, of course. But, I was watching my dad play Red Dead Redemption once, or twice, maybe, and apparently you skin the animals whenever you kill them in that game to collect their skins, and it actually goes into detail about kneeling down and taking out your knife and ripping them open, gutting them and skinning them. Well, it's what they do. It's what you did in the old days. You skinned an animal and poached it, and... Now when we see this door here with the red banners, we'll also see a door over here. It's a very locked, solid door. But we will be returning here at some point in the future. Because as we pass through here, we find our way out to Oriath Square. And another waypoint. So, does anyone in town have anything to say now that we've made it through the control blocks and into Oriath proper? For killing Justicar Cassius?
So you made
yes, we made him see the light.
See the light, did you? Couldn't have happened to a nicer fella. Yet now I've an even more charming chap for you to make the...
Who will we meet today?
He's
or next time?
Chamber of Innocence, beyond the Templar Court.
Oh yes, I bet he's just dying to meet us too.
It's High Templar Averius I'm talking about. Although he's so filled to the eyeballs with innocence that it's hard to tell where the man ends and...
Really, you think so?
These days.
Kill a man and you kill the god.
Kill the man and you kill the god. And what are the Templar?
Now you don't have to slaughter all of them.
Lambs in a slaughterhouse.
I don't know. Bloodstained past and everything, but
By killing Casticus, you've given us a fighting chance. And about his eyes, I'm sorry you had to do that. Yet although Tula's solution might seem brutal, I've seen Karui blinded with a hot poker.
That sucks.
Simply for looking a fraction too long.
Yep, it's obviously just a little revenge.
Yes, this is war.
And sucks that war turns into stuff like this.
Revenge too.
Kind of makes things worse in a way, doesn't it?
Token of our thanks.
That's why we hate war too, don't we? She now offers us some flasks. Maybe I'll pick one up later. And Valentia, nothing to say. But anyways, I will be ending our episode today with using my passive skill points. Go there. And 3 more skill points, and we will increase our energy shield for the evasion we have. So that'd be very nice. Man, look at my energy shield already. It's 1600. Anyways, everyone, until next time, take care of yourselves and have fun. We will continue this war in Oriath next time on Let's Play Path of Exile. Take care of yourselves and have fun again. Bye-bye.